Her name was Dorothy. In 1957, she walked into her doctor's office in Cincinnati and said she wanted to lose some weight before the holidays. He nodded, picked up his pen, and wrote her a prescription for something that would be classified as a controlled substance within 20 years. In 1957, it was called a diet aid. He said it was safe. He had given it to his last 3 patients before her. Dorothy filled the prescription, went home, and did what her doctor told her. She did not know what was in the bottle. She had no reason to ask. This video is about what she left that office with, what her doctor prescribed, what the tobacco companies sold her, what was inside the candy on the second shelf of her medicine cabinet, and what happened when the people profiting from all of it were finally asked to answer for it. Before number 8, subscribe. This is exactly the kind of video this channel is here to make. Hit the subscribe button, then let's get into it. Number 8. She smoked, and her doctor knew exactly what that did. Open a copy of McCall's magazine from 1954 to the right page, and you'll find it. A full-page advertisement for Lucky Strike cigarettes. The tagline reads, "When tempted to overindulge, reach for a Lucky instead." This was not a metaphor. It was a pharmacological recommendation dressed as a lifestyle suggestion, printed on the page next to a recipe for apple cake. Nicotine raises metabolism and suppresses the hunger signal before meals arrive. The tobacco companies had the research. The doctors had the research. The woman who lit a Lucky Strike 20 minutes before dinner and found she could push half her plate away, she had the results, even if she did not have the word for what was happening in her body. One of you wrote under a previous video, "Lots of people smoked to keep weight down." Another wrote, "My mother drank coffee all day and smoked 4 packs. Never was hospitalized, died peacefully at 88. She was not smoking because she was weak. She was smoking because it worked." And the industry that sold her the cigarettes had published internal research on that fact before they ran the ad. Number 7 is when the doctor stopped being passive about it. Number 7. The doctor's little helper. In 1944, MGM studio doctors put Judy Garland on Benzedrine to get her through 18-hour shoot days. They put her on phenobarbital to sleep between them. They monitored her weight by the pound. Her contract required it. When she gained, they adjusted the prescription. She was 22 years old. What happened at MGM in 1944 was not exceptional. It was a preview. By the 1950s, the same compound, Benzedrine, Dexedrine, Disoxin, different brand names for the same class of drug, was being prescribed in family doctor offices across the country to women who had simply mentioned their weight at a routine appointment. These were amphetamines, the same class of drug that would be called speed on street corners within 20 years. In 1957, they were called medicine. Your doctor wrote the prescription on a Thursday afternoon between 2 other patients and handed it to the receptionist to fill. One viewer wrote under a previous video, "I remember sneaking some of my mum's doctor-prescribed diet pills in the 60s. They were speed, made me feel full of energy, happy, talking a mile a minute until they wore off. Then I would hit bottom, feel manic and cry." Her mother did not know she was taking speed. The bottle had her doctor's name on it. That had always been enough. Number 6 is what happened when one prescription was not enough. Number 6. The rainbow pills. They were called rainbow pills because of the colors: pink, yellow, white. You took them together. A standard combination in the 1950s and 1960s included an amphetamine for appetite, a diuretic to reduce water weight, a laxative for rapid loss, and a thyroid hormone to push the metabolism harder. 4. Separate drugs, taken at the same time, prescribed by a family physician for a woman who wanted to lose 15 pounds before her daughter's graduation. The FDA began investigating rainbow pills in the mid-1960s after patients started dying. Cardiac arrest, stroke, kidney failure. The pills were banned in 1968. The year before the ban, doctors were still writing prescriptions. She was not taking 1 pill. She was taking 4. She thought she was doing what her doctor told her. She was right. The item at number 5 does not require a prescription. It is available at every pharmacy in America, right next to the register, and it looks like dessert. Here is the thing about every item on this list. She did not find these things on her own. She did not seek out a black market. She did not do anything her era considered unusual or dangerous or even particularly noteworthy. She went to her doctor. She read her magazine. She bought the product at the pharmacy. She did what she was told by the people she had every reason to trust. That is the story of this list. Not weakness, not vanity. Trust, given to institutions that had not earned it. Number 5 was sold as candy. Number 5. The candy in her dresser. It came in caramel, butterscotch, chocolate. It looked like something from a See's Candies box. The packaging showed a smiling woman in a shirtwaist dress, and the promise on the box said, up to 10 pounds in 5 days, without dieting or exercising. The product was called AIDS. It entered the American market in 1937 and sat in medicine cabinets and bedroom dressers across the country for the next 4 decades. It was sold at pharmacies, and it was recommended by doctors. Mothers bought it and did not think twice because it looked like candy and cost less than a doctor's visit. One woman who grew up in that era wrote that there were diets. In the 1940s, AIDS was introduced with the promise of up to a 10-pound loss in 5 days without dieting or exercising. There was always a box of AIDS in my mother's dresser throughout the 60s and the 70s. The appetite suppressant in AIDS was eventually linked to strokes and cardiac events. The FDA restricted it. The product disappeared quietly from pharmacy shelves. The candy your grandmother kept on her dresser was a pharmaceutical compound in a caramel wrapper. She thought it was a diet aid. The company knew exactly what was inside it. Number 4 is the prescription she was given for a condition she did not have. Number 4, the prescription for a problem she didn't have. A woman sits across from her doctor in 1957. She is 34 years old. She is not sick. She tells him she would like to lose some weight before the holidays. He nods and picks up his pen. He writes her a prescription for thyroid hormone. She does not have a thyroid condition. He knows this. In the 1950s, it was accepted medical practice to prescribe thyroid extract to healthy women for weight loss. The logic was simple. Thyroid hormone raises metabolism, and metabolism burns calories. It worked. It also caused heart palpitations. It caused accelerated bone loss, the kind that shows up as fractures in her 60s and 70s. It caused anxiety, and in women who took it for years, it caused permanent suppression of the thyroid's own function. The gland stopped producing hormone because the synthetic version had been doing the job so long, it had forgotten how. She did not know any of this when she filled the prescription. She only knew the number on the scale was going down, and her doctor had said it was safe. Those two things together were the whole conversation. Number 3, the garment that did the work instead. One of you wrote this under a previous video. Also, women wore girdles, which gave them tiny waists. They probably could not eat large meals due to the tension of their girdles. 141 people liked that because it is correct, and it is the one item on this list that required no pill and no doctor and no prescription. In the 1950s, every woman wore a girdle, from the moment she got dressed until she undressed for bed. The Playtex Living Girdle, the Merry Widow, the Warner's Concentrate. She chose the brand and the size, and she wore it to breakfast and to dinner and to the church social and to the July block party in the heat. The compression was significant enough that eating a large meal while wearing one was genuinely difficult, not from willpower, but from the simple fact that there was no room. The tiny waist in the photographs was not entirely the woman inside them. Part of it was the engineering around her. Nobody said so at the time. The photographs did not show the red marks, the boning left on her skin when she finally took it off at the end of the day. A woman born in 1949 remembered it quite well. People dieted all the time. Her mother was one of them, and her friends talked about diets. They called it reducing, and there were plenty of fat people around. The word is worth stopping on, not dieting, reducing, as if the body were excess material to be made smaller by whatever means available. In the 1950s, reducing meant the printed calorie cards doctors handed out at appointments. It meant the grapefruit and egg breakfast, half a grapefruit, 1 soft-boiled egg, black coffee, nothing else until noon. It meant the skipped lunch. The dinner served and not eaten while everyone else at the table cleaned their plates. Jackie Kennedy, according to her personal secretary Mary Gallagher, ate fewer than 1,000 calories a day for most of her adult life. Baked potatoes mostly, black coffee by the pot. She smoked. She was photographed at every public appearance and held up in every magazine as the American ideal of what a woman should look like. The woman who read those magazines and then went to stand in her own kitchen was not following a lifestyle. She was following an instruction. The instruction was, be smaller, whatever it takes. Number 1, what it cost her. Dorothy lost the weight. The prescription worked for a while. She filled it 3 more times over 2 years. She smoked Lucky Strikes before dinner every night for 18 years. She wore the girdle until her youngest started school. She was, by every measure of the decade, slim. She died in 1994. Her daughter found 4 prescription bottles in the medicine cabinet. None of them had the drug name on the label, just the doctor's name, her name, and the instruction, take as directed. She took them as directed. That is all she was ever asked to do. One listener wrote that they were born in 1966. Their mum was born in 1934. She was a tiny woman. Her hip bones protruded through her pencil skirt. She liked her figure that way. She ate only at meal times, no snacking. She lived off black coffee and Lucky Strike cigarettes. She cooked a full dinner for her husband and her 5 children every night. She was not doing something noble. She was doing what every institution around her, her doctor, her magazine, her tobacco company, her pharmacy, had told her was normal. And none of those institutions, not one, ever sent her a letter that said we were wrong and we are sorry. And here is what we should have told you instead. Another listener wrote that it is infuriating to think I have struggled my entire life to control my weight when everything we were told was wrong on purpose to make money. The answer underneath is the same, a system that needed her body to be a problem so it could sell her the solution. The photograph shows a slim woman. It does not show the prescription bottles on the bathroom shelf, the Playtex girdle hanging on the back of the door, the Lucky Strike in the ashtray, the half a grapefruit at 6 in the morning before a day of cooking food she was not going to eat. Not every woman in those photographs was doing these things. Some of them were simply living in a world that made staying healthy automatic. The real food, the closed kitchen, the neighborhood that required her body to be in it. That video is still true, but some of them were doing all of this, and nobody put that part in the frame. Subscribe. The next video is already written. I'll see you there.